If loving you is wrong, then I don't want to be right. If being right means living without you, I'd rather live wrong than live right. In the 1970s, Luther Ingham's If I'm Loving You is Wrong, I Don't Want to Be Right was played on all stations all over America. Growing up, I heard that song many times, but never understood what it meant until it happened to me. Madam Contest Master, fellow Toastmasters, honoured guests and good-looking judges. It started off with a smile. Before I knew it, I was deeply in love. It felt intoxicating. It felt rejuvenating. It also felt very, very wrong. I knew it was just a matter of time before my wife found out. My wife, Marley, is a petite Caribbean beauty, full of Latin fire and passion, which is good and bad. That afternoon, when Marley came home early from work, it was really, really bad. The next morning, we were in the counsellor's office. Dr. Goldstein said, "Mrs. Featherson, boys will be boys. Millions of others do it." My wife didn't like Dr. Goldstein's advice. The next morning, we went to a different counsellor's office. The second counsellor, Dr. Garcia, was a woman. Dr. Garcia said, Mrs. Featherson, why not join in and make it a shared experience? Millions of others do it. My wife really didn't like Dr. Garcia's advice. After that, we stopped seeing counsellors, and she decided to take matters into her own hands. My wife said, "Clarence, if you won't stop, at least for the sake of the children, be discreet." Yeah, sorry. Now I'm very discreet. I wait until late at night when everyone is asleep. Then I take out my car keys and I tiptoe out of the house. Shh. A few minutes later, I give in to temptation and lovingly reach out for the latest issue of the National Enquirer. Yeah, go ahead and laugh. I'm used to it. My wife doesn't understand why after 4 years of college and 3 years of law school, I read the National Enquirer. But, OMG, hello, she must not have gotten the memo. That's why I subscribe to it. There's my name right there on it. And I'm not alone. Millions of others do it. Go on and laugh, but I know some of you have been tempted to look at the National Enquirer. If you have, please raise your hand and say, "Inquiring minds." Inquiring minds. Thank you. A few of you are honest. But I can see in everyone else's eyes you've been tempted to look at the National Enquirer. You're just too ashamed and embarrassed to admit it. Well, I'm not. I have 3 great reasons everyone should read the National Enquirer. Reason number 1. The National Enquirer is fun to read. It tells you who's been naughty and who's been nice. The National Enquirer tells you everything about anything that doesn't matter to anyone. Reason number 2. The National Enquirer raises your IQ and makes you smarter. It's true. When you read the National Enquirer, you laugh. And when you laugh, more oxygen goes into your brain. And when more oxygen goes into your brain, it makes your brain cells healthier. And the healthier brain cells raises your IQ. That means people who read the National Enquirer are smarter than ones who don't. It's true. I read it in last week's National Enquirer. And last but not least, reason number 3. The National Enquirer gives all the dirty, delicious and scandalous gossips first. Who was the first to tell you about Arnold Schwarzenegger's love child? Who was the first to tell you about Tiger Woods' non-golfing problems? The National Enquirer. And who was the first that told you that Michael Jackson bought the Elephant Man skeleton and, was doing God knows what with it? Who was it? The National Enquirer. Well, fellow Toastmasters and honoured guests, I hope I've convinced some of you, with inquiring minds, to give in to the temptation and read the National Enquirer. Millions of others do it. If you haven't, you should. And if I haven't, and like my wife, still sitting at the back here, you're laughing at me. I don't care, because I'm in love. And I can say about my love, and all I can say about my love affair with the National Enquirer is, if loving you is wrong, I don't want to be right. If being right means living without you, I'd rather be wrong. Je t'aime. Je t'aime mon chéri.